Inatokea?
Kilami ni electricity.
Electricity. Ebu ni direct una directingi hechi. Ni direct unamwambia ngaje sometimes.
Most of the time nakuaga tu ana flow. Akiniona si anajua niko mboka.
Haya, acha basi njaribu kwa kaye sasa. Haya wasake sacha ikuja ndiko hivi. Tuache ipige serious look hivyo.
Asante.
Biko in the building. Wewe.
Asante.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing tonight? Salimia wa Kenya. Tumekungoja Biko coins mashilingi.
Ngoja for how long?
Tumekungoja for long manze. Unaona the social media tumekupiga hype manze. Kama karibu hapa tusalimiane. Salimia wase.
Yakwaje majamaa? Aka mpige Kilami.
Iwe iko sawa yote hata Kiluya sema yote ndio unasema. Uko fit manze umepiga look.
Uko mzima? Ashukuru.
Unakaa cool kid manze. Yaani ukija tu unaweza vaa suit upige prezo picha hivi yani.
Most of the time mboka yangu ni kaya walimu. Kutoka job uko na pia maisha mengine. So nikiwa mboka napiga mbwenya, nikiwa mtaa napiga hii.
Hebu karibia kamera kidogo sasa. Hebu lete kamera kidogo. Ati ukipiga mboka, nimesikia ukipiga mbwenya. Hebu tuelezee kuna wazazi wanawatch. Hawaelewi umesema nini wallahi.
So when I'm working, I'm on a suit, and after work, I just wear like a normal young guy. So now I'm just a normal young guy. But if I'm working, I'm on a suit. I comb my hair. I look the part.
You look the part, man. Unakanga fiti. Kuna siku moja the president was looking at your shoe. Alisema nini jizo viatu zako?
No, I wanted to know the type of shoe I was wearing. I come with a different shoe, so it's like I wanted to know what shoe is that.
I like that. Paka nasikia your accent. Sasa let me ask you, hii jina macoins mashilingi ilitoka wapi? Haraka.
Macoins mashilingi, go back to the Swahili saying haba na hapo hujaza kibaba. Technically, any space I'm in, I try to make an impact. I don't want to make a big impact, a small impact. So it's the effect of my coins.
Na sasa vile umeomoka, woni uchange kwa mapeni, madola.
Still, the goal is the same. We need to impact lives. You're here for a while, so without a shilling, you might miss to have 100 bob. So
that's true.
A coin is very important.
A coin is very important. So tutenda macoins mashilingi, tutaka hapo tutenda madollars.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. So you know what? It's going to be a great show. We have macoins mashilingi here. Akona story mob. The way he came from Kibera manzi sana fanya kazi pale State House. Yani hapa unaingianga tu kama bosi yani funguleni mlango. Anakujua.
There's protocol. There's protocol. Yeah, right. Definitely a few now you're a familiar face, but you don't take it for granted.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, but it's always an honor and we're always grateful to
all right. I love that. All right, so it's going to be a fantastic show. We also have Willis Ocheng who's going to be joining us live from Kisii County. Let's begin the show with the highlights. Let's go.
Uganda President Yoweri Museveni establishes a commanding lead as election officials continue tallying votes in Uganda. Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja has launched an immediate investigation after CCTV footage surfaced showing police officers confronting civilians inside a Nandi Hills pool hall. The ODM party issues fresh demands in advance of a potential arrangement with UDA, seeking a 2027 running mate position and a significant stake in the coming general election.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. This is, of course, this Friday with me, Betty Kialo. So glad that you could join us. Hope you had a fantastic week. Let's, of course, begin with our top stories tonight. And our sign language anchor tonight is Catherine Simaloy. Now, civil society groups in Uganda are raising alarm over alleged human rights violations following Thursday's general election. Now, the groups claim that at least 13 people were killed on Friday morning in Butambala district amid post-election tensions. Opposition leader Robert Kyagulanyi, popularly known as Bobby Wine, has urged Ugandans to continue documenting alleged abuses despite a nationwide internet shutdown. Well, this comes as Uganda's Electoral Commission announced preliminary results showing incumbent President Yoweri Museveni with a commanding lead. Stanley Nyaringita reports.
Despite Uganda's abrupt internet shutdown on Wednesday evening, reports of human rights abuses have begun to emerge. According to civil society groups speaking in Nairobi, 13 people were killed Friday morning during a raid on the home of opposition politician Mwanga Kivumbi in Butambala, Uganda.
Maybe we should, like my comrade said, maybe we could get to know even more of reported death after here. But right now, what we have now are 13 people that we call.
But that was in that one incident.
Yeah,
so there has been more.
This was an election held in a state of siege, where the regime signaled that it fears the truth of the ballot box more than it respects the constitution.
Now, if Mr. Museveni murders the people of Uganda, the world is watching, and he knows that nobody commits crimes and gets away with it, regardless of the passage of time.
Preliminary results show a decisive lead for the country's incumbent president and NRM candidate Yoweri Museveni at 76.25%, who is seeking a 7th term after 4 decades in power, with Bobi Wine garnering 19.85% of the total votes cast.
Total votes 5,323,779, representing 24.59% of the registered voters on the National Voters Register.
Opposition leader Bobi Wine, currently under house arrest, according to NUP sources, has accused the electoral authorities of vote rigging. The chairperson is expected to announce the official president-elect on Saturday. Stanley Nyaringita, TV47.
Now, a disturbing CCTV video footage showing police officers in Nandi Hills assaulting young men playing pool has sparked nationwide outrage and renewed fears over police brutality. Now, in the footage, officers are seen kicking, slapping and striking the youths. Some already subdued, raising serious questions about the use of force during what appears to be routine policing. Now, the incident has drawn condemnation from rights groups and the public as accountability demands grow. Faith Wangari tells us more.
It is this CCTV footage that surfaced online that has triggered nationwide outrage. In this video, people believed the police officers who are uniformed are seen kicking, slapping and striking the youths who are seen enjoying a pool game past 11 p.m. in this hall. The youth say they were inside the pool hall when the police officers on patrol stormed the premises.
Hili tukio likuja, hawa jamaa adio walikuja wakapaka lori pale, tukafikiria ni kazi, kumbe wakakuja, kumbe wanakuja kutupiga. Wakakuja kwanza mlango hapa haikufunguka, wakaingia huko wawili kuangalia CCTV, wakarudi wakajifunga vizuri, wakakuja kwanza kupiga watu, walilalisha watu hapa hivi. Mimi nikafukuzwa mpaka mguu imeumia.
Tulivamiwa na hawa askari bila hata kupewa notice, hatujui kama kafyu ilikuwa. So mimi wakati walituambia tulale chini, tukalala, tukatii amri, hatukureact. Baada ya hiyo wakatuambia tutoe ID. Mimi nikatoa yangu. Wakaniambia pita hivi. Wakati mimi napita, mmoja akanigonga hapa kwa mkono. Hadi saa hii sijapona. Nikarudi. Ikabidi nimelala na wakaendelea kutuchapa.
What appears to have begun a routine police operation quickly escalated into violence despite no visible resistance from those being assaulted.
Mimi nilitoka kasi ya hoteli, nikafunga kasi. Kutoka nikapata maaskari ambao si wa Nandi Hills ama si wa town yetu. Wakaniambia pika makoti. Wakati nilipika makoti, wakaanza kunipiga. Wakanipika kwa mkongo hapa karibu na spinal cord, alafu wakanifunja mkono, wakanisungusha mkono hivi, kusimama wakaniambia twende mpaka kuna pool ilikuwa hapo mbele hivi. Tukasonga hapo, kufika kwa pool wakacha hapo. Maaskari hao tu kwa jua walikuwa wamefunika mdomo na mask, ambapo sasa wakatuuliza mulete ma ID zenu. Kutoa ID Sasa tena wakatuchapa, wakasema weka masimu yenu chini, pesa walitunyang'anya. Hata maaskari yenye tulikuwa nao na civilian walipiga hao, walitupika wote.
Nimeingia kwa duka ya Chris after kufunga kazi, nikafanya shopping yangu. Time ya kutoka nje, nikawapata wanasimama. Nikapita, wakaniambia unaenda wapi? Nikawaambia naenda kwa nyumba juu naishi hapa town tu karibu Equity Bank. Vile nilikuwa naendelea bado kuongea, akaniweka kofi. Kwa time ya kuniweka kofi naona watu pia wanajaribu kuteremka wanakimbia, nikafuata hao watu kukimbia. Hiyo time wakajaribu kunishika mkono wakaenda na carrier bag. Wakashika mkono carrier bag ikakatika nikakimbia. Simu ikaanguka kwa mtaro, nikaendelea tu kukimbia, nikafuata hao watu tukaona heri tukimbie mpaka kwa gate ya hospitali. Kufika kwa gate ya hospitali kuna mwenye alikuwa amesimama kwa mtu fulani iko hapo stage ya mapikipiki. Huyo ndio akaturudisha. Kuturudisha tukaingia kwa mtaro mwingine huko hivi na vijana fulani. Sasa hata sijui penye hiyo carrier bag ilienda. Simu tu ndio nilikuja nikapatiwa na mwenye aliyokota.
The youth seen in the CCTV footage being assaulted by the police officers in Nandi Hills, Nandi County, have since reported the incident at a police station. In the statement, they quote excessive humiliation and assault during the encounter on the night of January 10th without definite explanation on what was the offense.
Hao watu walikuja, wanakupiga, wakipata simu kwa mfuko wanachukua wanaenda naye. Pesa wanachukua wanaenda naye. Wakakikia kwa loto hapa. Wakachukua pesa hapo, coins hapo ya loto wakaenda naye.
Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen has condemned the incident, demanding quick investigation into the matter. The Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja has instructed the Director of Internal Affairs Unit to investigate potential human rights violations, abuse of power and assault by police officers involved.
Those officers who will be found to have committed that act will be arrested, they will be charged, and I can assure you that they will also lose their jobs.
Nandi County Police Commander Samuel Makusi says investigations have been launched to establish the circumstances that led to the alleged assault. He adds that any officer found culpable will face legal action, while urging residents to remain calm as the probe continues.
I want to invite the Internal Affairs team maybe to come and take over the matter for fairness.
The Independent Policy Oversight Authority has launched investigations into the incident. IPOA said it had reviewed the footage and deployed a rapid investigation teams to establish the facts. Human rights groups warn that such incidents reflect a worrying pattern of excessive force during routine policing, saying unchecked brutality continues to erode public trust in law enforcement, particularly among young people.
So the young people are very aware of how horrible, how lawless, and how violent this police force is.
There is no any law in this country that prevents you from playing a pool. So, and also being intimidated. There is no any act of law that allows any citizen to present their ID at any time.
As investigations get underway, attention now turns to whether those responsible will be held to account or whether the case will join a growing list of unresolved allegations of police brutality. Faith Wangare for TV 47.
A High Court has temporarily halted the government's plan to import rice, dealing a blow to the move and raising hopes for local farmers. Now, the court issued conservatory orders stopping the implementation of a gazette notice that allowed the imports. The decision comes amid growing pressure from leaders in Kirinyaga County, backing Mwea rice farmers who argue the imports would hurt local production and livelihoods.
The Kerugoya High Court on Friday issued conservatory orders suspending the implementation of the contested gazette notice that has opened doors for rice importation into the country.
Jambo la kushangaza ni kwamba kama siku tatu zimeisha, serikali imeruhusu mchele takriban meli mbili, moja inaitwa Spiker na ingine inaitwa Crimson Creek. Wameleta mchele zaidi ya tani milioni 70. Na serikali inajua vizuri kuna agizo la mahakama ambayo imesema kwamba hawakuwa wanafaa kuleta mchele mpaka kesi iweze kusikizwa.
The court also directed the Kenya Revenue Authority to use its enforcement mechanism to detain the suspected rice consignments until the matter is determined, warning that any disobedience of the orders would attract penal consequences.
Tulienda kotini na tumepata agizo ingine la mahakama ambayo inaambia KRA isiweze kutoa hiyo mchele ama kuachilia iende mpaka kesi yetu iweze kusikizwa, ili wakulima wa Mwea waweze kununua mchele yao yenye iko kwa maghala na ile ambayo bado tunakuja kuvuna.
The ruling comes as Kirinyaga Senator Kamau Murango intensifies his opposition to the planned importation of an estimated 70 million tons of rice.
Mtu yote ambaye wafuati agizo la mahakama, huyo ni jangili. Hakuna tofauti ya jangili. Kama serikali imeamua kukaidi agizo la mahakama, hawana tofauti na walanguzi wa dawa za kulevya.
Speaking during a youth summit in Kirinyaga County, Murango described the move as unfair, noting that locally produced rice remains unsold while farmers grapple with high production costs, water shortages, and delayed payments. Hibak Said for TV 47.
Now, what began as an environmental awareness campaign by Trifana Muthoni has now prompted a public health warning after she hugged a tree for 72 hours, inspiring many Kenyans to attempt the challenge. The trend quickly gained traction, with some participants using it to raise awareness or seek financial support. However, not all attempts have ended safely, with reports of some participants losing strength and collapsing, ending up in hospital. Now, the Ministry of Health has now issued warnings, health advice and guidelines for individuals engaging in strenuous endurance activities. Suzanne Locha tells us more.
What started as a simple and unique idea has now grown into a nationwide challenge. Trifena Muthoni, a brave young woman, hugged a tree for 72 hours, capturing the attention of Kenyans everywhere.
So when we have environmental degradation like floods and droughts, the victims have post-traumatic stress disorder.
Her example sparked a moment, with many others taking part in the tree-hugging challenges as part of awareness campaigns for various causes. But it's not all fun and games. Some participants have pushed themselves too far, ending up in hospitals after fainting or losing strength.
He had started developing multi-organ failure.
While such activities can be exciting, the risks are real. The Ministry of Health has issued guidelines and safety precautions for anyone attempting physically demanding challenges. Participants in the physical challenges should be aware of the potential risks, including heart-related issues, fainting, dehydration, injuries, insect or snake bites, rough terrain, psychological stress, and urban air pollution. According to the Ministry of Health, those at highest risk include individuals with undiagnosed medical conditions, people who suddenly begin intense exercise without preparation, and anyone taking supplements or stimulants without medical guidance. Before extreme exercise, participants are advised to have a health check, test for blood pressure, sugar, and pulse, discuss chronic conditions with a health professional, and review medication that help cope with heat or dehydration. These risks come with warning signs such as confusion, sudden collapse, dry skin, severe or swollen muscles, intense headache, vomiting, disorientation, muscle cramps, or inability to take water. If this occurs, they are advised to stop immediately and seek medical help. Susan Locho for TV 47, Nairobi.
Right, let's be careful out there even as we engage in these activities. Now, the Orange Democratic Movement has issued fresh demands to the ruling United Democratic Alliance as talks over a possible political deal intensify. As Elizabeth Mituku reports, ODM is pushing for a stronger stake in the arrangement, including the deputy presidential slot in the 2027 general elections and greater influence in the upcoming polls. Now, the developments come amid heightened consultations within both parties, signaling a possible realignment ahead of the next general election.
As talks over the UDA-ODM deal intensifies, the Orange Democratic Party is now making fresh demands, TV47 has learned that the party that is now under Oburu Oginga is demanding, among other things, the running mate position in the 2027 election. The party wants Professor Kithure Kindiki edged out, promising to marshal support for President William Ruto's re-election. The party wants to field candidates in all its strongholds in the 2027 polls, as well as being a major stakeholder in the 2027 general election. The party is in the process of popularizing the partnership with UDA in the 47 counties. The party held its first meeting in Kibra this week, just days after the Central Management Committee met in Kilifi.
Kiwa pamoja ndio tutakuwa na nguvu na tuta negotiate na hawa from a point of strength.
President William Ruto led the National Executive Committee of the UDA party in State House on Wednesday this week. The NEC discussed the ongoing political partnership between the UDA party and the Orange Democratic Movement ODM party, which partnership has resulted in the adoption of the National Dialogue Committee NADCO report of the year 2024, the establishment of the broad-based administration, which has incorporated members of the ODM party into various responsibilities in government. The meeting also discussed the consensus for mutual and reciprocal support for UDA and ODM candidates respectively, which consensus resulted in two parties winning all Senate and National Assembly seats that were contested in the by-elections held last year. The NEC noted the decision of the ODM Party Central Management Committee to initiate structured negotiations with the UDA party in the Kenya Kwanza coalition to strengthen the ongoing political partnership and negotiate a coalition agreement ahead of the 2027 general election.
ODM has agreed to work with UDA. Now we are now moving forward to formalize that particular agreement so that at least we can move together in a formal way.
We don't want political dealership. We don't want political deals that tell us that, oh, now you will run people here and you can't run people there.
The UDA party leader is set to establish mechanisms for structured engagement with the ODM party to achieve the desired outcome. Elizabeth Mutuko, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's party, the Democratic Citizens Party, DCP, will tomorrow hold a retreat in Kilifi as it seeks to consolidate unity amid a wave of defections by some of his allies in the Mount Kenya region. Now, the meeting will also address contentious party nominations ahead of next year's elections and lay the groundwork for a national membership recruitment drive set to begin early next month. Apollo Kamau reports.
Democracy for the Citizens Party.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua will tomorrow lead his Democratic Citizens Party DCP in a strategy retreat in Kilifi as he moves to call his troops to order and stem further defections that have dented the party's image. During Saturday's retreat, Gachagua's allies are expected to take a clear position on whether to stand with him through the political storm or quit amid an aggressive push by President William Ruto to raid his camp.
No aria matangioya mbeca ri meku na menda kuoya ri moe ndirari nao na ndimetete gikaro riu ndigitwo na 21 ndikimere maundu ni meri ndungienda mbeca na wende uthamaki no nginya wamurere kibu.
Among those who have already quit Gachagua's camp and declared support for President Ruto are Juja MP George Koimburi, Githunguri MP Gathoni wa Mushomba, and Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga.
Nilipigia Rais William Ruto kura. Yeye ni rais wangu. Mimi ndiye governor wa Nyeri. Sijui kwa nini mnachanganyikiwa. I don't know.
The stormy issue of party nominations is expected to dominate deliberations, with a section of elected MPs who opposed Gachagua's impeachment demanding direct nominations. The party says it will strictly enforce nomination rules or adopt consensus, where applicable.
Alienda akahongwa, akapewa milioni 5 ndio aweze kuleta Alois Kinyanjui awe mbunge wa Juja constituency come 2027. Na mimi hii ni mambo ambayo siwezi kubali.
DCP is also expected to strategize on consolidating its support in the populous Mount Kenya region and deepening engagement with allies in the United Opposition Alliance against the backdrop of improved ties between Gachagua and former President Uhuru Kenyatta, despite persistent suspicions. The party will further launch a nationwide membership recruitment drive early next month, coupled with the opening of new party offices across the country. Apul Kamau, TV47.
The government has reaffirmed its commitment to revitalizing Kenya's coffee subsector with the aim of securing a bigger share of the global export market. Now, speaking at the Taste of Harvest Coffee Breakfast in Nairobi, Agriculture Principal Secretary Kiprono Rono said efforts are focused on boosting production beyond the current 40,000 to 50,000 tons while expanding value addition through specialty coffee, branding and local processing to improve farmer earnings and strengthen Kenya's position in international markets. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe has urged farmers to increase milk production through improved feeding and better farm management rather than expanding herd sizes, saying productivity is key to higher incomes. While speaking in Embu County, Kagwe said the average milk production currently stands at 8 liters per cow daily, but could double with improved nutrition and stronger cooperative coordination. Embu County produces 101.3 million litres of milk annually, valued at 5.2 billion shillings, with new milk coolers and enhanced cooperative support expected to significantly boost output and reduce post-harvest losses.
Pande zingine, kwa sababu tunajua kabisa, we know for a fact that a drought is coming. If we know for a fact that a drought is coming, let us prepare for the drought as we prepare for human food. Sisi kama serikali tunanunua chakula, tunaweka NCPB, mahindi ya kutosha, so that if we don't get a crop of maize, we can distribute the strategic reserves that we have. We need to do the same for the dairy sector, for the livestock sector. Ndio counties ziwe na viwanda, ziwe na go downs ambazo tunaweza weka silage na hay.
Absa Bank has clinched the Top Employer 2026 title from the Top Employers Institute for the 5th consecutive year. Now, the financial institution improved its score by 4.94 percentage points, with Absa Group operations in Botswana, Ghana, South Africa, Zambia and Mauritius also receiving recognition. The bank says the certification reflects strong performance in leadership, ethics, work environment, diversity, rewards and data-driven people practices, which in turn enhance employee satisfaction and productivity. All right, time now for some sporting action. And Mathare United secured a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Ulinzi Stars with this evening actually at Kasarani Stadium in SportsPesa League clash. John Makwata struck the decisive goal in the 37th minute to earn all 3 points for the Slum Boys. The win lifts Mathare United to 11th place on the table with 21 points, while Ulinzi Stars remain 17th with 17 points.
Mkwaju penalty bila kupepesa jicho. Josephine Wanjiku. He's back, John Mark Makwata.
AFC Leopards return to action tomorrow with a crucial SportsPesa League clash against APS Bomet at Kasarani Stadium as the title race gathers pace. Now, Ingwe head into the fixture in fine form after a record-breaking December that saw them win 3 matches. Victory will be vital in their bid to remain among the league's frontrunners, especially after close rivals Gor Mahia defeated Muranga Seals in midweek. Elsewhere, Shabana FC faced Sofapaka, while Tusker hosts Bandari United in other key fixtures. Gor Mahia currently top the standings with 30 points from 15 matches. FKF President Hussein Mohamed is in Morocco ahead of the AFCON 2025 final set for Sunday, where Senegal will face host Morocco. Now, the visit comes at a critical time as Kenya, alongside Uganda and Tanzania, prepares to host the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. Morocco's hosting of the current tournament has set high standards in infrastructure, organization, and football performance, offering Kenya valuable lessons in early planning, institutional coordination, and long-term vision.
Especially when it comes to sports development. So for me, this is, you couldn't ask for anything more. And the relationship between the government of Kenya and the Federation is very strong. I'm happy that we work closely in collaboration with all the other stakeholders as well, the private sector. But government has been a fundamental pillar. And when it comes to infrastructure, I am sure everything will be done to give an exceptional experience for all the fans who will come for the AFCON in 2027 in Kenya.
All right, so that's where we wrap up the first part of the show. Wacha niwaambie niko hapa live chat to your YouTube, and I'm telling you the comments so many. Let me just sample some of them. Thank you so much for everybody who's watching. Leo naona mmetune in kwa nguvu. Patrick Kirungu, you're saying you're tuned in. Shadrach watching from Kwale, thank you. Fadhili tuned in from Katito. Watching TV47 from Nairobi County, thank you so much. That's Stanley. There's Muthkar, you're saying macoins o'clock. Mwingine hapa anasema kwa beti kuna macoins. Mwingine hapa Pixels, you're saying I am here for Biko macoins. Mashilingi, Mosquito, whoopa. Whoopa. Wangabad. Oh my goodness, there's somebody here. Rescue Center saying slum photography, whoopa. Somebody here, Film City, you're saying here for Biko macoins. Mtu anasema hapa nipeni brufen. Macoins, mashilingi asanta. Team Biko, you're saying leo tuko huku juu ya makoiro. Biko, mafanza hapa wame. I'm telling you, love it. Thank you so much for staying with us. And of course, we're coming back. Of course, we have Willis Ocheng and Biko is in the building. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Also coming up after the break. He's a self-taught photographer who turned his passion into a platform. Biko Macoins Mashilingi grew up in Kibera and later founded Slum Photography Kenya. With talent and passion, he is now a principal photographer of President William Ruto. He joins us tonight.
right, and welcome back. I'm seeing your comments, Naziona. Makoins Akwapa Haendi Mali. Just a few minutes and he's going to be joining me here. But for now, vote counting is currently underway in Uganda following the presidential elections. Preliminary results indicate that incumbent President Yoweri Museveni is on course for victory, leading with over 70% of the vote so far. More on the situation, of course. We now cross over to our reporter Sedam Mubale, who is on the ground in Kampala, Uganda, to bring us up to speed with what's happening.
A very good evening, Charlo, and our viewers. We are coming to you live here in Kampala at the Electoral Commission headquarters at the Presidential Tallying Center for the 2026 presidential elections. And just a few minutes back, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Justice Simon Byabakama, made an announcement of preliminary results for the presidential candidates. And of course, according to his announcements, Bobi Wine currently has garnered 1,794,074, which represents 21.33%, while candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the president, has 6,365,057, which represents 74.92%. Of course, these numbers, according to the chairperson, represent 70% of the total number of the polling stations. And of course, those are some of the results that are coming in. And of course, one of the things he also added is that of the total number of the 21.6 million registered voters, now 8,135,033 the total number of the votes casted. Now, I will just be joining with the agent of the National Unity Platform here, who represents the opposition at the Presidential Tally Center, to give me an insight and his observation about this particular exercise. A very good evening and thank you for joining us.
And, thank you for the work done and keeping around and of course presenting to the country what is going on here.
What is your observation of this presidential election?
My observation, of course, I came to observe it's a little bit dark in a little small light that you cannot really see to the end, but you are in position to see what is given at the surface. I came as an observer, one, to compare the results as they would be coming in from the different tally centers of the different districts. The country has gotten 146 districts combined in sub-regions, divided by the different regions of operations. Electoral Commission basically has around 17 sub-regions, but as a country we have northern, eastern, and western, and then northern. So in our operations we could base on, say, Buganda, so we could be expecting 27 districts in Buganda to declare their results, say, from the polling station, from the tally center level, so we could be given the update by the Electoral Commission here, as envisaged by the proponents or the proposers or those that formulated the Presidential Elections Act, that says, as the results from the tally centers are being transmitted to the returning officer at the national level, who is now Mr. Byabakama, the agents of the presidential candidates competing must simultaneously and immediately be shared with the same kind of data electronically. So by the time we come here as observers, we have to have the electronically transmitted results from the tally centers, so that as Mr. Byabakama comes to give updates from the different sources of the tally centers, would be reading the complete tally sheets or the incomplete tally sheets, and then we could be comparing. So as he reads, say, I have partial results from Lakai tally sheet. Out of 46 or 400 polling stations, I've so far received 200 polling stations, and these are the scores per candidate. So we could then be getting those provisions, no matter how many times he could be coming to give updates. But now, what he has done, and that has been doing for the past, is coming and give a summary of percentage polling stations received. That does not augur well to a real voter and a representative, me as an observer, who really must have presented the breakdown of the performance of candidates based at the constituency or district or polling station level.
Say your name is?
My name is Alex Rovans Ranyaga, the agent representing the candidate Chagulanyi Sentamu Robert and NUP, plus other agents that we came together. But for now, I've been representing NUP in this wonderful show. Sorry, is it a show or presentation?
Well, that is it from the representative, the agent of the National Unity Platform here. Now, we are going to be waiting for further announcements by the Electoral Commission at 10 p.m. this evening for preliminary results. So, of course, we shall be keeping you informed as far as this comes in. My name is Saddam Ubale here in Kampala at the Presidential Tally Center at the Electoral Commission headquarters. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Saddam. That was a fantastic report there. And of course,